Alright, so what's going on, guys? Chris here with another video, and today we're going to do something very different. So I have blue. A lot of you, well, this car doesn't even need an introduction, so a lot of you know this car from Derek's channel or Derek reviewing my car. So here's my car and here's Derek's car.
Here's Derek.
Hola. So what we're going to do today is a fun video. So in his introduction, I will put a link in the description below for his channel for when this video is posted, and to make sure to go subscribe to his channel. And if you haven't seen the review of my car, I will also post that in the description below, but also make sure to sub to his channel, Derek Barron Productions. You'll get to see blue. So what we're gonna do is, a couple months ago I had asked him if I could review his car, and he said yes, but there's one stipulation on that. So on this deal, I had to get over 500 subs. So I do want to thank you guys for putting me over right near 600 subs. Last time I looked, I was about 570, 580 maybe, and y'all made this come true. So today we are going to review a 2-valve, but not just any 2-valve, guys. Blue, the aired out Rovo's future Coyote swap car. So let's hop into this car and let's get to this video. Alright guys, so we're going to get into this video. That's a compressor for the airlift, something I wish I had in my car. That's my favorite thing about this car. So what's going on today, guys? The little intro is we're making this happen. We are reviewing a 1999 Atlantic Blue 2-valve Mustang.
Bright Atlantic Blue.
Bright Atlantic. We made about 300 of these colors for this given year, and it's a rare color, kind of like the Sonic Blue Terminators or Mystic Chrome Terminators. And if you were to look at my car, silver, you see all those everywhere. Whether there's a V6, a Mach 1, a Cobra, or a GT like mine. So before we start getting into this car is stock motor-wise, besides a cold air intake, a BBK off-road X-pipe, and a Flowmaster 40 setup, which sounds really good. Trust me, I had the same setup on my car before I did the Coyote swap, and that was one of my favorite things, was the exhaust. The 2-valves are known for the exhaust, even though they are kind of slow. But from the factory, from 99 to 04, after 94 to 98, they upgraded the motor with a PI kit. So you got PI heads and a PI intake, and they went from I believe it's either a Romeo to Windsor or vice versa. Somebody correct me if I am wrong in the comment section below. So let's get to driving this car. It's gonna take a minute to get used to because this is a factory clutch, and I have a McLeod RXT in my car, so. Alright, so guys, there's a lot of nostalgia being in this car because, well, I used to have a 2-valve. So I'm gonna give you a second gear pull. So guys, coming off that pull, it's not nowhere near as fast as my car, but it's awesome being back in a 2-valve because it's what I used to have. It reminds me of where I came from in my car, and it reminds me of what I did when I took the idea of having almost a 300,000 mile motor, pretty much all stock except for a few bolt-ons, and setting my mind to it, and what I could do was Coyote swap it. Now Derek is doing the same thing, and he has his mindset to it, and I remember meeting Derek, riding around with our 2-valves, just cruising to car meets and stuff, before I had the Coyote swap and before he was getting big on YouTube. So it shows right there when one person sets their mind to it, if they want to Coyote swap their car, they can. And that's what Derek is doing, and Derek had the mindset of making a YouTube channel that is growing rapidly fast. I remember when Derek and I met to do the review of my car, and he was right around, I think near 1,000 subs, and I remember he cranked out the video to do my car, and it just went viral. It went like that. It was literally, I think it's the top video on his channel, and it just took off like that. So that's where I got my idea to kind of just have a small channel of my car. But we're doing a review of Blue. So when I first met Derek, actually I was with Kona Free Valve Blue, or Snowbra, or whatever Instagram name Gordon wants to go with, but you guys have seen him in Derek's videos, and he's the one with the Snowbra and many other cars that come. But Gordon and I were working on my car one day, and we decided to go to Chick-fil-A, and I think that's when we first met Derek, because we saw this car sitting out, and that's when Gordon had his 2.5, so I believe we parked next to it. And after we got done eating at Chick-fil-A, we walked out, and then Derek kind of walked out at the same time, and then we started talking, and then that's when we all started kind of hanging out and going to car meets and stuff. And trust me, this car looks good when he first had it, but he had to put a new motor in it. The motor has really low miles on it, right around 60,000 miles, so it's really everything is there, so he could actually mod this motor if he wanted to. Maybe slap a Pro Charger on it, like the review I did of my buddy Chris. He has a Pro Charge 2.5, and he's pushing 11 pounds of boost, so Derek could go that route. But I like what Derek has done with Blue. Derek has kind of made, with his channel, he's made this car kind of like iconic. If you look at David's channel, he has Smurf, and everyone knows him by that. Everyone knows Derek by Blue, and this car has transformed from samurai sword exhaust tips that were like 5 inches sticking out, and I swear I'd trip over him, or he would trip over him, not when you're not looking, so it's like running into a tow hitch. But he's got these badass, I want to say they're powder coated, they're kind of like a matte black exhaust tip now, so they look really damn good with the black accents that are on the back of the trunk of the car, the rear lower accent of the bumper, and the gloss roof, so it really does shine with that. And the best part is shining with the how he plasti dipped the 40th anniversary badges on this car, and then the gloss black Robos that he actually got a really good deal on from Andy Howard. So I remember when he was telling me about going to get those, and he really wanted some Robos because that's what I have on my car, the satin silver. And then he ended up getting a sponsorship through Robos, which is really awesome. Alright guys, we had a little mishap. The camera overheated because, again, it is hot as shit in Virginia. It is like 92 degrees, so there's literally an AC vent blowing air to the camera. So I'm gonna try my best to pick up where I left off, and I do apologize if I missed anything because we had a really good video going. Alright, so what I was talking about, to sum up pretty much what I said, was I remember when Derek first had this car, and it was on stock, just SR lowering springs, budget springs, and just budget parts and stuff. And if you look at this car, definitely when I see it on social media, I'll run across, because I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel, of course, so I'll see his videos pop up on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday, and I see it all over Instagram, whether it's a shout out from another page or just his page posting it or whatever. This car has come really, really far, and it's a very iconic car. It's pretty much the whole point of that. What I'm saying is, you put your mind to something, it can definitely happen. With hard work and working your ass off, you definitely get to where something is become, you bring something from, a stockish look to what you want, and your imagination and what you have in mind for it, it can happen. I mean, I did it with my car, and Derek is doing it with his car and his YouTube channel. When you talk about a 2.5 motor versus mine, everyone knows what a Coyote motor is, and everyone knows what we can do and the potential with it. So coming to a bolt-on 2-valve single overhead cam car, the best thing you can do with it, if you're just bolt-on wise and stuff like that, is definitely gear the car. Derek's car has 373s, and I have the same gear ratio in my rear end of the car, so it's definitely better. It's the best best worlds of a 355 and a 410 gear. So you have that kind of quick shift, but you also have that power band where it's perfect. And if you ride the highway a lot, if you daily drive, you know, you're not going to run out of gas. Like 410s eat gas, and then 355s, you know, kind of slouch out in the end. But, you know, I've had 373s for a couple years and I love them. So the best thing about a 2-valve is the sound. You can add, you know, whether it's Mac long tubes, Cooks, or BBK, you can do off-road X or off-road H, and the motor is just going to produce a very, very iconic sound, because everyone knows when there's a 4.6 around. I'll be at work or, you know, out and about, and I'll hear 4.6 and I'll be like, that's a 4.6, whether even if it's an F-150 for these years. The 3 valves and the 2 valves and 4 valves, you know, they all produce that iconic 4.6 sound. And with the Flowmaster is a really, you know, a good muffler to go with. And I have Borla, and I love the sound that it made. Now, again, going back to what these cars make from factory is 260 horsepower, maybe 261, 262 to crank, and you're putting out around like 300, a little over 300 foot-pounds of torque. And you can tune the hell out of these cars with a cold air intake and full exhaust and cams and all that. But the best way to get your money out of these motors, if you plan on not Coyote swapping or LS swap, maybe even 2JZ, that would be awesome. But when you want to get the most power out of this car, like Chris did with his red 2-valve, he pro-charged it. He spent a little over $2,000 buying a used pro-charger kit, and he called pro-charger he just needed a few essentials that he was missing, and he didn't really have over $3,000 into it, and he's pushing what my car makes stock. So he's on 11 pounds of boost, and the only thing that you really have to worry about is it's really recommended not to, sorry for shitty driving in a stock clutch, but it's not really recommended to kind of just go over 9 pounds. But Chris is pushing it with 11 pounds, but, you know, props to him. He doesn't drive the car often all the time. It's kind of like a weekend thing, and the car is very clean. And if you want to get your most out of the money, just do a pro charger, or, you know, even do a Whipple or a TVS, or, you know, a turbo kit or something. I've seen some badass 4.6 turbos, but those motors are usually built. And if you're on a budget and stock, and you, like I said, you want the most out of the motor, pro charger. That's my best answer for that. But these motors, NA wise, like I said, you can tune them. They're not going to throw out a lot of power. They love forced induction, whether it's, again, turbo, supercharger, or nitrous. That's the best way to get the money out of these motors. But again, I do recommend Coyote swap, and that's what Derek is doing. So I can tell you this: when Derek Coyote swaps it and goes from a 2-valve, a good running low mileage 2-valve, what he has now, and the power that he has and everything, it's going to be a whole different world. And I think he's just either going to shit himself or not know what to do. He's going to enjoy it a lot. But when comparing my car versus suspension in this car, Derek went from SR performance lowering springs that still didn't get away from that 4x4 gap that these cars are notorious for having, that's really ugly. Like, fuck you, Ford. Seriously. The dark ages of Ford Mustangs. But when I had the H&Rs, it gave it that more of a stance, but it was still, you felt everything in the road, every pothole, and I still feel it. Now, I have Team Z Strange coilovers with H&Rs still in the rear, and I have spent, you know, near a couple grand in suspension. Derek spent, you know, a couple grand on the airlift kit, and I don't know if this car is, like, I would forget if this car is lowered or not. Like, if I were to go over a speed bump, I would forget, not being that the car, not that I'm stupid or anything, but just the car rides so well. It really, the old saying, the car rides like a Cadillac, this car rides like a Cadillac. It seriously does. And I would, like I said, I would forget it's lowered, and I'd probably scrape the shit out of my chin spoiler or my exhaust, and I'd probably mess up something sooner or later. But if you guys want something that is awesome, air ride suspension is definitely the way to go, because if it rides stock, it rides better than stock. And I know from studies that they have done, it actually does perform well on the drag strip. Autocross, I'm not sure, but I will tell you this right now, I'm not hitting every bump, and if I had this, my girlfriend would complain about her back or her ass hurting from every bump in the seat. So 2-valve, if you want to get your money's worth of a 2-valve like Derek's car has, It's good NA, and it's a good practical daily driving car. You can do like my buddy Chris did and pro charge it, but buy a Newedge, guys. These cars are so damn good looking if you do tasteful mods, like Derek's blue and like my car. But like I said, his car has come a long way, and I want to thank Derek for letting me have the opportunity to review his car. And he made the agreement and he stuck to it, so I mean, I didn't think he wouldn't, but you know, it's really awesome to just be in a old 2.5 car that looks this badass. So shout out to Derek for that. His link to his channel will be in the description below. So make sure to sub to his channel, and I'll also put the review of my car that he did in the description below. So I will see you guys next time. Have a good one. And now we're gonna do his video where he's driving my car.
I'm ready.